1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Make sure you click like, share, subscribe to the channel. Today, Andrew and I are going to be reviewing Tyler, the Creator's 9th studio album, Don't Tap the Glass. I was actually surprised that it had been 9 albums. Tyler is a vet in the game. I know we've been talking about reviewing this project for a few weeks now. We've finally gotten the opportunity to get together to talk about it. I have a myriad of thoughts, but I kind of want to hear your thoughts because I feel like you're probably going to be a bigger fan of this album.
It's been my observation that the people that I know who are hip hop heads that not I've tried to talk to about this, but like I've brought this up to all have the kind of rolling their eyes reaction to it. And that mean maybe not with you, but that's kind of the impression that I've gotten, and I like it better than that. I mean that's the very 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 short review. So don't turn off your video right now. Stay here and laugh at my takes if you want to, but
I'm not doing that to the album. I can see why your quote unquote old head or hip hop head would not be in love with this album. First of all, there's very little rapping on the second half of the album.
Yeah. That was actually one of my questions we'll get to in a second, whether this counts as a hip hop album or if it's more of a pop-ish album. We'll get to that in a minute.
I think when we review Gunna's album, we're going to have some of the same questions to ask. But
I think Gunna's album personally is less rapping than this. But again, different conversation for a different day.
Okay, so even with that, I think what we're dealing with, I think what we have to look at things like with these artists too is creatively and generationally. And so, not to, not talk about Tyler, but in the process of doing this review, I'm going to talk about some things artistically in terms of the merit that I hear from Tyler, the artist. I feel comparable to Tyler the way I do about Freddie, Andrew, in the sense that I wasn't initially or originally really a fan.
Right.
But I am a fan of good music, and I'm a big fan of great album making, which is why, I wanted to do a review show. And Tyler makes dope albums. And because of that, he has a buy-in with me.
Yeah.
That maybe he doesn't have with the traditional quote unquote hip hop head. I am listening to his album and sincerely trying to hear and see and feel where he's going, even if he's going nowhere.
But you have to listen for it, right?
Right, but you have to listen for it. And so this music that you hear on this album is more something that encompasses the right now musically. And that's probably why the old heads and the hip hop heads aren't the bigger fans of it. But musically and creatively, I hear some great things. And so that's
hilariously in reference to the old heads too. This is an album that's really obviously pulling cultural and musical, I guess sonic is what I'm trying to say, sonic checkpoints from the 80s and 90s. Like it's very obviously pulling those sonic points.
My initial thought after listening to this album the first time was just like, this is like he's one of the first rappers and he's hanging out with Rick James and Prince, like Charlie Murphy was from the Dave Chappelle show. That was like my first thoughts.
We've done this a really long time. One of these notes on here says, one of my hot takes is this album has more than a little Prince to it. Like there's a little bit of that in there for sure.
I actually want to talk about Prince, Andrew, because when I listen to what Tyler is as an artist, I can hear the influence of Prince, not only musically, but also in terms of the creative license to just say and do whatever it is that you feel, as long as it's good. And I think, a lot of people don't remember this. Prince caught a lot of flack early on in his career for a lot of everything.
He had lots of things going on for sure. Yeah.
But creatively, he was a genius.
But the music was always good, man. Always
Yeah.
good.
And of course, Tyler's not Prince. I'm not saying
No,
that, but he does exercise. He does exercise that type of creative license that
yes.
a Prince does, and I
Mhm.
do respect that merit. It is something that attracts me to an artist, and so he does have that in his bag. And but that's something that you have to love the whole sphere of music. I feel
Mhm.
to like really grasp that, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you have to love you've got to love like all the music, like to
Mhm.
understand like the creative license that he's using, maybe not just love hip hop and R&B
Right.
maybe
That makes
there.
sense.
So that could be part of it, and so I hear that part of it, and so that aesthetically to me is pleasing.
Mhm.
So I have more thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say about just that portion of it.
I think when you say that, it reminds me why I love it. I mean, I don't think it's like the best album of the year by any stretch, obviously, but like it it explains to me more clearly why my ear is attracted to it, I guess is how I want to say that.
Yeah,
Um Go ahead. Sorry.
it's okay. So in hip hop terms, you want to know what this album made me think of?
Mm.
This felt very much like his Love Below.
Fuck me, man. You're going down this fucking list of things and you're stealing all of the notes is what you're doing. So, and I do that to you all the time. So yeah, I guess it's turnabout's fair play. But yes,
Yeah,
I
very
wrote
much
hot
feels that.
take. This is the Andre 3000 solo album you've been begging for. That would have come out like mid early 2000s. Like
Okay,
that's
so
that's
so
what
here's my
that's what he
thing.
would have done.
So here's my thing with this album, and this is maybe my thing with this artist and maybe this generation of artists. Well, Tyler is one of the greater artists of this
Mhm,
generation because he is one of the greater album and song makers, much like Freddie.
mhm,
But also much like Freddie, you don't find him to have like we really do treat our like best rappers like superheroes, and it seems like they all have like a special technique or a special move
mhm.
or something that they do, and when they do it, it's
It's
like, oh,
Mortal
that's
Kombat shit,
the
right?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, on some Mortal Kombat finish and move type stuff, and I think because Tyler doesn't necessarily have that, and that's what we kind of like expect from our greats.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It doesn't hit or affect the same, but he is very much like a Kanye and Outkast are his predecessors musically.
Mm, yep.
And so, is there any "She Lives in My Lap" or Prototype on here? Oh, hell no. But he's not Andre 3000,
He's not
you know?
trying to be, really. Like, it's not trying to
And he's
be
not
that.
trying to be. I'm talking about the level because I think for the
Right.
heads, it becomes digestible when you do something different when it hits a level. And Andre hit a level on the Love Below that even if you
Mhm.
were ahead, it was like, no, don't tell me you don't like Happy Valentine's Day and She Lives in My Lap and Prototype and Spread and Vibrate. Like,
I
no,
I
those
would like to say for the record that in the years that I've watched you, I mean, I've obviously known you almost 30 years, but in the years that I've been watching you in the podcast space, um, She Lives in My Lap might be second place in your reference list behind the Purple Tape. Like, of the things that I've heard you say, like, name over and over again, that
you
might be
want to know what
second.
you want to know what's crazy? I literally just played that song 3 times in a row before this show started. I love
Yeah.
that record.
Yeah,
It's one
it's a
of
great record, man.
it's one like there's my objective list to everything, and then there's like my personal list to everything. But
Yeah.
like personally, that record is super high for me. Like I love
Yeah.
that record.
Just
Every time I
like
play
the
it, I'm entranced
yeah.
by it.
Just like the Tyler record is like, objectively, is it a great classic? No, it's not. But, like, is it something that I enjoy listening to? Yeah, absolutely it is.
I do feel like even though I appreciate this album and I respect this album, you are gonna play it more than I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
are. This is another thing that I kind of want to bring up too.
mhm,
Tyler is exciting,
mhm,
but not in the way traditionally that rappers have been exciting in
mhm,
the past. And that's some of the gap too, his exciting is more of an everyday exciting, and this goes back to what I'm about to say about Kanye. When I listened to this album, I realized how truly like special Kanye is, and Kanye's influence is so heavy that I was like literally sitting down and thinking to myself this evening, I might have to put Kanye in the top 10, like, of rappers. He's already like in my top 10 producers because him making his early projects, what his early projects really did was it sent the music industry out to find the regular guy in the neighborhood for the first time.
Mm.
It didn't have to be the guy that used to be, the biggest whatever on the
Right.
block. It didn't necessarily have to be the guy who was necessarily even the best, like, quote unquote rapper on the block.
Right.
It really sent the industry out looking for just like who's really dope out here. Like,
Mm.
that's what Kanye like really did, where he changed the game. Like when 50 blew up, I wasn't surprised he blew up because of the story in the background. I was like, that's not a surprise. That's how
Mm.
rap works.
Yeah.
That's just how rap works on steroids. Like 50's blow up is like when all of it comes together
Especially
at
as
once.
we line everything up. That's
Yeah, it's like when you line everything up about what the like how Chris Rock talks about in his stand up, like Jerry Seinfeld told him that like you have like the kit, like the
yeah.
like yeah, as far as like rap kits go, like 50's rap kit
He's
was
got
like
all
like
of
the
them things.
perfect rap kit that
Yep.
had like everything in it.
Hmm.
Kanye changed all of that, where it's like, well, you can just be yourself and make records like Jesus Walks and All Falls Down, and that can hit on the same level. But
Hmm.
that goes back to and this is some of the separation too, and this is why the old heads don't gravitate. Oh no, that stuff is classic and it's genius. And Kanye is a genius because he's been replicated more than any rapper I can think of this side of like Pac and Jay
Hmm.
and Rakim, and nobody's come close to hitting his level yet, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And so I realize what a one of one he is when I listen to this Tyler album, because for this generation, Tyler is very much like Kanye
Yeah.
in a lot of
The
ways. For
kids
them.
love Tyler.
Oh no, this did almost 200K first week
Hmm.
in this era. 200K
Yeah.
in this
Which is
era first week.
huge.
First week, that's massive in this era, in my opinion.
Mm.
So with very little promotion, and
Hmm.
from what I've been reading, made the album fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But the album also too is a vibe. He's not talking about too much
No.
outside of,
No. No.
yeah, and so it's kind of is meant to party and bullshit too.
Hmm.
That's what it's
One of my
intended.
notes is that's a Studio 54 clubbing album. It's not like your what you would
Yeah.
call a clubbing album, like you would talk
I-
about 50, but like it's definitely a go dance album. Like it's
So
a
on
Studio
hip hop,
54 kind of thing.
on hip hop level, you would probably give it, it probably feels three-ish to most people, like on a hip hop level.
Yeah.
But we don't exist in an era anymore where necessarily these rap artists are always doing necessarily hip hop.
Right.
I don't quite know what it is that they're doing. I haven't quite got a phrase or a
Yeah.
terminology for it, but it bleeds and blurs the line a lot
Yeah.
in this generation, and that does
You're not listening to this album for the bars, really. Not what it's for.
well. To quote the Purple Tape, you're not getting any glaciers of ice on here either.
Mm. No. But it's
Yeah,
not for that either. Like
it's
that's not
and
he's
and
not
he
trying to do that either.
and that's not his fan base either. So it's
No.
like the heads that don't like it. It's like, well, you're not part of Tyler's fan base. You either
And
Tyler's one of those people. If you're like from our generation, it's like you can either appreciate the artist and the album making ability that comes with him,
mhm,
or you can't. Like now, if you want to be critical of it, what I will tell you is that I feel like he was on a stretch of really dope, good and great projects, and I don't know if this project measures up to that, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have some merit and isn't a solid project.
right. And he actually proved on the Clips album that he can do bars if he wants to. Like
Oh no,
he's
he
got
got bars.
he
I can rap.
can. It's just not that's just not what this particular project is and what it's for.
Our generation got this thing. We really do want everybody to be like Black Thought and Nas, like
Mhm.
on the mic, like and Big and Jay. And it's like we just, you're not gonna get that
Yeah.
anymore. Like you're not gonna get that. Like you're gonna get Gunna, you're gonna get Tyler, you know. That's why people are so stuck on Cole and Kendrick so much, because lyrically they do
Mhm.
provide some of that quote unquote old head energy,
Yeah, they do.
like lyrically speaking. And so generationally, the older generation gravitates towards them in this generation because of that. That doesn't mean that these other guys aren't good. They're just not Kanye. I'm not expecting them to be Kanye. Like, I'm not. I don't even know if Andre can make "She Lives in My Lap" again. Why the hell would I expect Tyler to make
Right,
it?
exactly.
you know, and so sometimes when you listen to an album like this, it makes you appreciate that rap has been able to evolve into something like this. And so I can appreciate an album like Stankonia on a day like today. As much as I can't stand Yeezus, I think that album's terrible.
Mm,
I can appreciate it on a day like today. I can appreciate 808s on a day like today. I can appreciate Aquemini on a day like today. I can appreciate some of the albums that Prince
mhm,
made that are sitting on the wall today, because I realized that this album got made because there was some groundwork laid before it. And that's what
yeah,
I mean about, maybe, well, context is everything. The ability to do this has actually been like foundationally, like as far as black music is concerned, like a path has been paved, and
mhm,
so really all Tyler's doing is walking down a path now that's been paved. And so you can like it, love it, or hate it, but it does deserve some musical and artistic merit. He is a very talented artist. This is a pretty solid project.
mhm,
It's pretty
yeah,
solid. It's not stellar, and I don't know. How about this? I don't know what I'm going to come back to on here, because I do feel like one of the things that makes it a dope album is the latter half of it.
yeah, the latter
But
half
it
is
all,
the better half to me.
but you have to listen to it in sequence, I feel like, and it is very little rapping. So you have to be in the mood and in the vibe to, I think, kind of like wave that way. And so,
Mm,
I guess
I agree, yeah,
I think people, I think the heads probably want the "Call Me If You Get Lost" Tyler. That
yeah,
guy's rapping, and I
yeah.
understand that, but he can be that guy, but he's not going to be that guy on every album. He's never really been that as an artist anyway. So this is just kind of like more of an
Yeah, again, he's
evolutionary.
not trying to be that here. Like, he's not.
And quite frankly, it just sounds like he's having some fun
Yeah,
too. And I've always said that it's like I've always liked, well, not liked, I've always loved the Two Chains and the Slick Ricks
mhm.
and guys like that, because it's like, well, for whatever they were and we're talking about, it's like, well, they were fun.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
like
the
I like
first
what
I think
happened.
that's the first text I sent to Sean and the first text I sent to you about this album, a month ago or whatever it was, is that I think it's more fun than it is great.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
so,
and that's I think he has succeeded in doing what he was trying to do.
yeah, room on the stage for everybody is really
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I agree.
Now, he
But I
did
do
produce.
agree with your statement as well from previously that I think, I hear it as more of a piece of music entire like, I don't think of this as individual songs. I mean, there are individual songs, obviously, but if I'm thinking about being in the mood to listen to this, I'm thinking about I'm in the mood to listen to the album, not like to this one song, right?
Correct. Like, there's not a song on here that necessarily stands out that makes me go like, ooh, like I need to hear that record. But
The
there
actual
was a
"Don't Tap the Glass" record, I do walk around singing though. That does get stuck,
No,
and
no,
like,
it's got some stick to it. I did find myself. I feel like the last, like I feel like it's songs 5, 6, or 7, or 6, 7, 8.
mhm,
I did find myself in sequence of those songs going somewhere like in my head, and I love it when an album does
mhm,
that, because when you're doing that, I feel like you're successfully bringing me into your world, whatever
right.
world that may. This world is very like 80s and cocaine psychedelic, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, that's th again, I think has succeeded in doing what he was trying to do. Whether that what he's trying to do is everybody's taste, obviously not. But, like, I think he's I think that's what you just said, '80s cocaine, whatever, whatever, whatever. I think
Yeah,
that's what
Rick.
he's trying to do, and I think he does do that.
Yeah, 80s cocaine, Rick James. Yeah, this is great. And there is like, sonically it does have like a Prince aesthetic to it.
Mhm.
Um Modern day, I guess, Weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's got some of the Weekend kind of like dark, kind of like creepy but funky,
yeah,
like sexualized but still tantalizing. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So he pulls from a myriad of things, and I mean, and it's got some, he pulls from some southern influence, hip hop influences on here briefly.
Mhm.
He's doing some stuff on here. There is some nerd inspiration, obviously, and by nerd I
Mhm.
mean Nerd.
I know what you mean, like, yeah, the
Yeah,
Pharrell stuff, yeah, sure.
yeah, the Pharrell stuff, and Pharrell is on here, of course. Some of this
Mhm.
stuff sonically, I did actually think Pharrell produced, and it made me
It
actually go
does
check.
sound like that, doesn't it?
So it does feel like Pharrell, um, mid 2000, early 2000. It's inspired a little bit.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
he's pulling from a lot of places, and if he really made this in an abbreviated time, it kind of speaks to the talent as well. That it's like, well, he put all these sounds together. The sequencing is not great, but it is really good in my
mhm,
opinion. It's not
yeah,
flawless. It is a little bit of a rocky start, like a little bit rocky.
yeah,
Not the biggest fan of the first record, but
yeah,
there's a lot
I'm
of.
not I mean, I don't dislike it, but, yeah, that's not my favorite on there, like, he's
I do realize that some of my favorite albums, even if the best song on there isn't the first song does tend to be one of the better songs on an album, and it's rare on a great album where that doesn't happen.
yeah.
Rare.
Yeah, it took about a song and a half before I was kind of it perked up my ear. It was the first time I heard it, and it's hard to remember back to it. I'm having to reference my notes too, but, like, because it's been a month or so-ish since it's been out, um, and, yeah, I don't remember it catching my attention at the very beginning,
Yeah.
and then it got progressively more catchy. Which is why I asked whether it's a hip hop album or a pop album. It's kind of
Well,
pop-ish, like,
I think he
it's
could make
playing
it.
with all those genres, right?
Well, I realize too, with this being his ninth album, he's probably in that space in his career where he just wants to make what he wants to make too at this
Yeah,
moment. You know what I'm saying?
and if he can do
And so,
200,000 in the first week, he has the latitude to make whatever he wants to make as
right,
well,
and
right?
also too, if you kind of have been noticing, at least in this era, the last 5 6 years, like he's really been doing his rapping stuff on his
Mhm.
features.
Yeah,
So he's still getting in his hip hop bag. He's just getting into it on features, really.
mhm,
And I don't necessarily have a problem with that either. And that's what I mean about the game being different now. It's like, so he wanted to make a Prince inspired, 808s ish type of Love Below record. I'm like,
have at it,
like,
man.
well, those records have been made now. So it's
Yeah,
like, it's okay now.
mhm,
And it's okay for us to be okay with it in this space now because this is how this space exists now.
yeah.
Yeah.
The the interesting thing, and this is I mean, I don't know that we have a ton else to say about this, and I figured that this one's gonna be shorter, but I have I started with the Hip Hop Talks group and with you with Mirror Music before that to, um, listening to a lot of things and kind of you all have kind of taught me what to listen for, right? Like, taught me, like, what sounds are and, like, what the sonics are and, like, what's good and what's not. So I've kind of learned that. And then I'm to the place now, a year and a half or 2 years later, that I'm starting to develop my own taste. I mean, I've always had that, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm starting to, like, I like this, I don't like as far as my own personal sonic
I,
whatever.
no, I don't think your taste is any different. And I don't think what you know is any different. I think you're the type of person that likes to be able to explain what it is that you're feeling, thinking, and
Yes, that's a teacher
hearing.
thing.
Yes. And
I
so
like to have words for it.
your need to explain, I think you needed to just develop the vernacular.
Yeah,
I think that was really just it. And so musically, you're attracted to Tyler and JID the same reason you're attracted to the Roots and Tribe Called Quest.
yeah,
It's the
and
same thing. So your music taste really isn't that different actually for me. For somebody who knows you, it's just you're able to explain it with the vernacular in hip hop terms now as opposed to before. But there's definitely like connective tissue even with your musical taste. That's why I was able to listen to it as somebody that knows you and be like, well, yeah, you're gonna like this more because you
yeah,
like you like stuff like this more, like hip hop wise.
yeah.
And there's and there's taste.
Exactly, that was the rest of that thought was that I've realized over the last couple years too that you, at least in part, and Sean and AG for sure are really, really hardcore New York hip hop, like East Coast, whatever. I mean, I know you listen to all this stuff everywhere, but like, I mean, like Nas, Mob, Wu, like you're very much in that kind of genealogy, at least where you started out with stuff. And as I've listened to more stuff, I've realized that the stuff that captures my attention more is South, it's West, it's over, like it's that kind of thing, right? That's the stuff that my ear is drawn to more. Like if I were
So
naming off like the albums, I'm not naming them now, but like the ones that have drawn my attention this year, that's Virginia, that's Atlanta, that's LA, that's the Bay, that's Houston, that's Seattle, right? So
we, well, you see, you have to understand too. So even with that, it's not even like an understanding thing. It was an access thing. It seems crazy to say
yeah.
this, like in Charlotte. Like, I actually like. I'm kind of fortunate in the sense that in the time that I moved to Charlotte was around
Mhm.
the time Outkast was actually becoming a thing in
Right.
Atlanta, and that kind of went with me to Charlotte, and so the
Mhm.
Dungeon family went with me to Charlotte.
Right.
But hip hop in Atlanta before Outkast wasn't really like what you would call traditional hip hop. It was
Right.
closer to Miami bass and booty shake. That was for
Mhm.
one, and for two, the access. Because around the time that I'm moving to Charlotte, well, records like Cream are playing.
Right.
Tupac's "Keep Your Head Up"
Mhm.
is playing. Like Biggie and Illmatic and Ready to Die and Southern Playalistic aren't even out yet. Players Ball is out.
Right.
Um, So a lot of that East Coast aesthetic was about the access. That's the stuff that they were
Right.
playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't really playing it like that, like that. It like there was a moment where it transitioned, but when I fell in love with hip hop, the transition hadn't occurred yet. So I wasn't familiar with Scarface until I moved to Charlotte, and my cousin
Mhm.
had the World Is Yours, which was his second album. Like I knew who he was from my mom playing tricks on me, and I remember I had a
Right.
cousin that had We Can't Be Stopped, but I never had access to the project until I got to Charlotte. But that's because my cousin Six, who's 4 years older, had access. So a lot of what hip hop wise is about access. Well,
Mhm.
Snoop and Dre were easy access when I was in Atlanta because that was easy access everywhere. They changed rap.
Yeah, they did.
So that time for I was in Atlanta, it was really more about Dre and Snoop that last year I was in Atlanta, but it was about Dre and Snoop every damn
Yeah, I was
where.
about to say that's not just Atlanta, right?
Yeah, that was everywhere.
Mhm.
And so then the transitions kind of started happening where it's like the Nas, Mob, and Wu. Well, that's right around the time that I fell in love with hip hop because that's when I started getting access.
Right. And
So
that's the same for Sean and AG too. I mean, they're the same age
yeah,
as us, so they would have come up
like
right in the same
like
wheelhouse.
if you were to go look at Six's tape deck from when I moved to Charlotte,
Mhm.
oh, those are my favorite rappers because if you go like look in his
Yep.
tape, if you were to go look in his tape deck in like the winter of '95, you would see Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Outkast, like Scarface,
And those
like
are your foundational
yeah,
artists,
that
right?
into the Wu Tang, like that was like. So that was, of course, the stuff that I got immersed with. It was the stuff that he listened to. I was broke. Have no
Mhm.
money to go buy no rap tape.
Yep.
Taking his tape, taking his tape. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go up to the store, buy a little 5 pack for $4.99.
Yes, sir.
As soon as he leaves, I'm gonna go take all of his shit and dub all of his shit.
Yep. That's how it do it.
Now, now I have my tape.
Mhm.
Fuck his tape, and that's how.
Yep.
And that's how it happened. And
Mhm.
so it was really just about access. And so when you just get more, it's just like anything else. This as a teacher, like when you get more access to more resources, well, your knowledge tends to grow when you get access to more resources.
Right. When people are
So
doing dope shit everywhere, right? Not just what we're
yeah,
hearing on the radio. Yeah.
right. Like people don't understand. I probably didn't like there are a lot of these people that I speak with on ease now. Well, oh no, I wasn't as well acquainted with them 20 years ago
Mhm.
as I am now.
Right.
It does take time to accumulate a wealth of knowledge about anything. I can't speak about a death certificate with the ease. Like if you would have asked me about death certificate in 2000, I couldn't have talked about it
Mhm.
like just off the top of my head for an hour or two like I could now.
Right.
I, I wasn't as familiar with it.
Yeah.
But now I could talk to you about it for days. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I'm aware. You have, in
Yeah,
fact.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, no.
Again, you forget that you don't forget, but people forget that I've known you 30 years.
Yeah,
I've heard it.
yeah. So I can. So that's where a lot of it comes from, and so even with you, your hip hop ear is I think transitional from your musical ear. You tend to listen to the hip hop guys that implore things that have more of a live instrumentation to it, if not in the Roots case, sometimes actual live instrumentation.
Yes. Yep.
So you gravitate towards that because of the world that you come from. So when you step into this world, that's what I mean. Well, you know all the words. It's just the words is different here, and
Just tilted a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. But we're still meeting in the middle because it's like, oh no, we both hear Prince on this. Just
And
have
both hear
we,
Andre and hear, yeah, and
yeah, we
Kanye
hear.
was, I didn't write Kanye down, but like definitely hear him too. Yep. So like,
When I'm listening to an artist like this, I hear Kanye. I don't necessarily. There is some 808. There's some 808 moments ish. Like I
mhm,
said, it feels like very Love Below 808 ish in that
yeah,
vein. Musically. Um, but I mean more like artistically, the lane Kanye opened up.
I
Like
see what
guys,
you're saying. Yeah.
like Tyler, I feel like are more viable in this in at this sphere in the game at this juncture in hip
Mhm.
hop because of Kanye.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And you know, I spend most of the time telling people Kanye just need to get some help. So the fact that I'm saying all of this is, you know,
He does.
he looms. Oh no, absolutely, unequivocally. But he does loom large in this space on the production and the artist slash
Yeah.
rapper side.
Yeah.
He does.
hmm
So my overall view of this album, I would probably give it a 3.5. And
hmm
I'm giving it that point 0.5 on artistically what I hear from him.
hmm
Because other than that, I would probably give it a 3. But a 3.5 is about as high as I can go for this. And I think that's being kind. Now, my question for you, what was your favorite record on here?
Let me look down the list. Hold on. Like I love the last one particularly. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Yeah, that one reminds me like just the beat coming into it. Do you know the Gorilla song Clint Eastwood? Do you know what I'm talking about? The I'm happy, feeling bad. I got sunshine in a bag. Okay, that song. It reminds me of that a little bit, like the way the beat comes in and out. So that had that touchstone. Let me go back through the list. Like I like the Don't Tap That Glass. I like the last half really. Like the Don't Tap That Glass, the Don't Worry Baby, I Take Care of You. Like all of those. And you're right, those are not necessarily hip hop ish records, really, right? Like I mean, there's not a lot of rapping going on, if we're being honest, right?
What's the record right after Don't Worry, Baby, I'll Take Care of You?
Don't worry, baby. Don't you worry, baby is the one with Madison McFerrin, and then I'll Take
Don't You
Care of
Worry,
You is
Baby.
the next one, and
And I'll
then Tell Me What It Is the last one.
Okay, so those three records, like,
Mhm.
no, those three records belong together. So
They
that's
do,
part of
absolutely.
like
Yeah.
so but see, it's beautiful when you're playing the album,
Mhm,
but none of those songs is stellar enough that I feel like, see, when an album is great, you
mhm.
can still have that and then be able to pick a song or two out of those three and be like, no, but I can just listen to that record. I don't feel
Right.
that way even if I enjoyed all three of those records. I don't feel like there's any one record on here where I'm like, but I can just pull that record out and just play
Yeah.
that whenever. And great,
It's the whole piece of music, the album is,
yes.
like
But those are
and
the three best. But that's the best run on the album to me.
yeah.
And I think the second one, I think what is it?
I'll Take Care of You is the one in the middle of the 3.
Yep, that's my favorite record on there. Is the I'll Take Care of You.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So
So, we kind of agree on how the end goes, and there are moments on the first half of the album, like, but for me, they're more catchy than great to me, like, they stick in my head more than because I mean, he's repeating stuff a lot, right? There's a lot of
okay,
repetition, right?
so even with back to the Outcast thing, well, you know, when they did Funky Ride on Southern Playalistic in '94,
Mhm,
I had never heard that on a rap album before.
mhm,
It was just like, and it's part of what makes that album so great. And they made it a point to do that on every album, and it's actually some of their best stuff, you know, on On AT Aliens, you have 13th Floor,
Mhm.
Growing Old. Um, on Aquemini, you have Liberation.
Mhm.
Just and you have Spodioti Dopalicious. It's like home run, home run. Um, on
Some funk.
Stankonia, you have Stank Love. You have like the Humble Mumble joint with Erica Badu that's kind
Mhm.
of like that. And so that's what I mean about a template being set where it's like, well, as a hip hop head, do I necessarily want to hear that if I'm expecting some rap? Well, no. But as somebody that enjoys music and that somebody
Mhm.
that like, if you were to ask me my favorite 25 albums, well, I would have 3 Outkast albums in there. So I
Right.
kind of like this type of
Personal
music
taste, right?
stuff too, as far as personal taste.
Mhm.
And so from that perspective, it's like, well, I can appreciate the art. And
Mhm.
sometimes it is about appreciating the art. You don't necessarily have to like the art. It's like, I don't want that hanging on my wall, but I like what they did
Yeah.
with it.
That's very similar actually to what I said about Ghost album last week too, is that like I appreciate the craft of what's happening. Like I can tell that it's good. It's just not something that I think I'm going to come back to
Yeah,
personally, like with my
and
ear.
you want to know it while we're here, because a lot of people have been telling me that they feel like Ray's album is better than Ghost album. You might feel like the beats are better, and there are some song moments that are better. But that goes back to that craftsmanship that Ghost provides in some of those moments where it's like, oh no, very few people can do that though. And you also have to understand too, like one of the better moments on the Ray album is the Mac and Lobster with Ghost. Like that is, it's, it's pretty special stuff. It's Ray and Ghost.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you get the two of them, that's
I
that's
do
something.
feel like the Nas verse is better on Ray's album, but I think I said
Mm.
that already.
Maybe
But
I don't remember. I agree with you though, for what it's worth.
but the Ray album is close. It's like, we talking about like, like the Ray, the JID, and the Ghost are all
Mhm.
close to me. Like for me,
Yeah.
I still have Freddie and the Clips ahead of those albums.
Mhm.
And it appears that this Nas and DJ Premier thing is about to take flight, so we shall see.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, that's very likely, or at least marginally likely, to rearrange some of this list as well. It certainly has the potential.
We're about to see.
Mm, we're about to see. Yeah, so this has sort of been a roundabout conversation about Tyler the Creator's "Don't Tap That Glass." I still think the Tyler album's better than you do, but it again appeals to my personal taste. If I were doing it objectively, I would say about where you are, about 3.5. Like if I'm
Not,
as
it's not.
objective as I can be, but I would say it's better than that on my personal taste list.
It's not in my top 10. As
I
we
would put
as
it at
we
the bottom of the top 10 for me.
right as we approach the end of August, it's not in my top 10.
Mm,
I still enjoyed the Rufus Project
yeah,
independent joint better.
yeah, I do.
Um, the Lloyd Banks, yeah.
Mm. I'm not as
Um,
high on Banks is, but like
I like
it's
the Banks more than this, but
yeah.
not by a lot.
We'll have
Like
to
Cherry
run down our list before much longer too. But this typically.
I was actually tentatively like thinking about like well, I mean, it's too late to do a mid-season review on the review,
Mhm.
but we do need to like maybe like do a show where we kind of like talk about like our top 10 list just so
Mhm.
far, just like on a week where there's nothing going on. All right, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the page, the review, the new wave. Y'all be good.
Peace out, guys.